Hi, and welcome. My name is Jerry Luke, and normally you can hear me on Fridays on Sports Insight between the hours of 2 and 3:30 on WHCR-FM in New York, 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. If you'd like to call during the hours of the show, please do at 1212-650-6903. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into these videos. Gives me an opportunity to get stuff off my chest, and sometimes they're fun and sometimes they're just there. So, to begin, sometimes in this life you have to do things that you just have to do them. If you are guided by whatever electronic weather you listen to before you do something, could be big trouble. Could actually be good for you in some respects, like if they say a tornado is about to happen in the middle of the ocean and you decide to take your boat out that day, it might have been wiser to pay attention to that weather report. However, yesterday they showed all sorts of weather, that it's going to thunderstorm and it's the end of the world, it's coming through Pennsylvania, it's coming from Connecticut, it's coming from everywhere. But I just sort of looked, where I wanted to go was the beach, and I sort of instinctively know that beach weather is weird. Things pass over, a cataclysm can happen for about 20 minutes and then all of a sudden it's sunny. So I said, well, what the hell, I was feeling low. Let me go to the beach. So I get on a train, I get to the bus, I get to the beach. Now this is a long trip. It's about a 2-hour trip. I get out of the bus, the first thing I feel, it's drizzling. I said, oh no, I gotta go back. It's gonna take me 2 hours. So now I'm scoping out places I could hide. And I figured, okay, there's a couple of places to hide on the way, a little path. And as I go down one of these paths, I pass people, it's raining a little harder. And I'm like, oh, I know if I just go a little further, there's a little house by the beach, I want to hide in the house. I finally get to that path, it's pouring cats and dogs. I see the house, but then I see, oh, there's an abandoned hotel. Let me head for the abandoned hotel. So I go to the abandoned hotel. I have to climb over a fence. I got this pole sticking out of the ground, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I could have been home, watching Netflix until it comes out of my ears. But so anyway, so I'm here. I hide under this hotel, which is plenty of room, and I'm comfortable. It's terrific. It's raining out there. It's dry where I am. I'm watching the waves come up to me, and I'm happy. Except it's raining. Well, a little while later, all of a sudden, I could see it let up a little bit, but the waves are coming in, and it's let up. And now I have to get out. Now the waves are about 2 or 3 feet further in than when I first came in. So now I got to brave the waves. I brave the waves. I get out. Obviously, I'm here, so it wasn't that big a tragedy. So now I'm on the beach, and I can see behind me, it's clearing up a little bit. But to the right of me, it's really ominous. So I'm betting on clearing up. So somebody, I don't know why, somebody has taken an umbrella, this is at the beach, tied it to a pole, and I thought there was somebody there, but as I get closer, I realize there's nobody there. There's an umbrella on the beach in the middle of nowhere. So it's still drizzling. I head for the umbrella, and I'm sitting under the umbrella in the middle of a drizzle, and I'm like a pig in caca, and I'm enjoying it. And slowly, it clears to the point where it was a freaking glorious day. And this is from, oh no, should I go out? It's going to rain. Look, at the computer says it's going to rain. You're going to die. All right, so I'm sitting on the beach now under the umbrella. Guy comes by, full regalia, fishing clothes. And I'm like, who's weirder, me under the umbrella or this dude in all this fishing regalia? So I said, you catch anything? He said, yeah, I caught some stripers. But then I look, where's his bag with the fish? I don't see no bag with the fish. So now he goes down, he's walking down the beach, and he's casting, a really nice cast, and he catches a fish. And he lets it go. And he catches another fish. And he lets it go. I'm like, I love this dude. So he's just for the sport. I mean, the fish aren't liking punctures in their chins, but at least the guys throw them back and they're alive. Okay, so now this reminds me of another dude. I was at Brighton Beach some months ago. I don't remember if it was the end of last summer or the beginning of the spring. And there's some dude, the place is packed. There's only one guy casting his fishing rod, And every time he casts, he picks out a fish this big. And I'm like watching this guy for half an hour, and nobody else is watching the dude. And he has an assistant. I'm like, people are there for days. They don't catch squat. This guy's throwing the rod in, and he catches a fish. But I like the guy that I met on my little private beach, because he threw them back, even though he was dressed to the nines, and he was obsessed. He's on one side of the beach, he's on the other side of the beach, he's casting, he's catching, he's throwing back. You gotta love this guy. Anyway, so that's one story, and now I realize I gotta get back because I want to go jam. And I time it. It takes a while. Unfortunately, I need to take a train that's supposed to be an express, is now a local, and man, I'm really far away. By the time I get back to the city, it's really too late to go. But I said, you know what? It's a jam, and I like these folks. Let me just go. So I go, and it turns out that there is no jam tonight because the playoffs were on. Turns out it was the last game of the playoffs. So, but it's a place, and I'm going to do a little advertising for this place because they host us every Tuesday. It's a place called Hopscotch. They're in Jersey City. From Manhattan, just take the path, one stop, and look it up. Look it up on the net, Hopscotch. Bluegrass, country, whatever, blues. We go from 9 to about midnight. Anyway, so nobody's there, and I get to watch the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the Met game. They had already won. So anyway, I did not laugh twice. So you do not laugh once for effect. The second time, you're just a moron. Anyway, I know where I'm going with this. Anyway, so I'm watching the game, and I'm watching. Okay, I wanted to give you all the stats, and by the time you see this video, you'll know that Golden State won. You'll know that they won about 80, including the playoffs, they won about 89 games. Iguodala is the MVP. There were some other good players on the team. But what really struck me is when you really, really needed Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith, they were like deer in the headlights. And I can understand now why the Knicks traded them. And my feeling is if the two players, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, were in the playoffs, it would have been a much different game. Golden State was able to remain healthy throughout the year, throughout the playoffs, and they worked Iguodala really well. Played him a few minutes, and when they needed him, he was in. But you might not like LeBron, but without him, they wouldn't have gotten this far, especially in the playoffs. And he needed people behind him. And if he had those people, it would have been a much different story. So my hat's off to both teams. Golden State did incredibly well, and Cleveland did well just to keep up with them. So there you are. And the Mets won, so I'm happy about that. Do I have anything else? Because Leo was going nuts. That's it. We're done. My name is Jerry Luke. I want to thank you very much for watching. Normally you can hear me on WHCR-FM in New York, 90.3, the voice of Harlem, between 2 and 3 any Friday. The number between 2 and 3:30 p.m. any Friday. The number to call is 1-212-650-6903. And finally, see you on the radio.